Hello everyone, welcome to Engineering Archives. Let's now look at our learning problem number 4 for this chapter. But before we get into it, let us first look at all the formulas that we have done for this chapter. So here's a list of all the important formulas that you should know to solve questions for this chapter. We have looked at these top 3 formulas in the previous questions, which is cos of the angle between the vector and any of the positive axes is equals to their component along that axis divided by their magnitude, their original magnitude. Okay, so also know that there is another formula that is very basic and you probably already know this, which is the magnitude of the resultant vector is equal to the under root of the under root of the square of the sum of squares of all the components of f along every axis. And lastly, there's one last formula that you should know, and that is the square of the cos of all the angles that the vector makes with the axes, that is cos squared of the angle that it makes with the x-axis plus the same thing with the y-axis and the z-axis, should equal 1. So in this question, the one is to find the Cartesian notation for this vector. So let's get into it. First of all, notice that they have given us two of the angles that we need. The first angle that they have given us is the angle between the force of 500 Newton and the positive z-axis, which is 60 degrees. So we can simply find the component along the z-axis, or Fz, as 500 cos of 60, which is equal to 250 Newton. Let's now look at the component along the x-axis. So they have given us the angle between the vector and the negative direction of the x-axis, but from this we can find the other angle, that is 120 degrees between the force F or the positive x-axis, or we can just use this 60 degrees but add a negative sign by ourselves. Had we used this 120 degree angle, the calculator would have given us a negative value automatically. Okay, so negative 500 cos of 60 gives us negative 250 newtons. The last component that we need is along the y-axis. But notice that they haven't given us any angle through which we can find this angle right here. So right now we will have to use either this formula or this formula to find the last component along the y-axis. Since we have the value for fz and fx, we can use this formula, and also we can use this formula to find fy. So let's do that. F, which is equals to 500 newtons, is equal to under root the component along the x-axis whole squared, which is negative 250 whole squared, plus the component along the y-axis whole squared, the z-axis whole squared, plus the component along the y-axis whole squared. Okay, so 500 squared minus 250 squared minus 250 squared should be equal to fy. And once we take the under root of both sides, we get fy equals to 353.55, and we can round this off to 354. Now we have all the components, we can simply write the Cartesian notation. So let's write that down. So f should be equal to negative 250 I plus 354 j plus 250 k. So this was the procedure for this question. Please get to know these three formulas. They aren't very difficult. Do a bit of practice and you will get this in no time. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.